The last time we saw Park Hill South on Metro Sports, they were in a heated rivalry game with Park Hill as quarterback Brett Sharp took it the distance. But this game was not without some controversy in it.
Guys, they have no earthly idea what's going on. the books in Hebrew, they just flipping through the pages. They don't know what's going on. I know one thing. If they make the wrong call, there's going to be a stoning going on here. These guys are very upset over here. The referees are trying to explain, but the head ref can't even find it in the book. He's flipping the pages. He's on page 12, verse 7.
Coach Severino and the Rockhurst Hawklets have rolled to a 7-0 start. And the Hawklets' future looks very bright with their freshman sensation running back Tony Temple, who scored a dozen touchdowns. Rockhurst, Park Hill South next on Metro Sports. Welcome to Daston Memorial Stadium on the campus of Rockhurst High School in Kansas City. Tonight, Metro Sports presenting Missouri 5A District 15 action as number 9 Park Hill South taking on number 1 and undefeated Rockhurst. Hi, everybody. Kevin Wyke with you here on the Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week here on Metro Sports. Tonight, it's new tradition against old tradition. The new tradition is Park Hill South, only their 3rd year of high school football, and already they've been state semifinalists last year. This year, they've won 6 of 7 ball games. The old tradition, no question about it, Rockhurst, they've been playing since 1916, a number of state titles, 4 Simone Award winners, and this week they're ranked nationally in the USA Today at number 24. With us on the broadcast, we've got Will Shields from the Kansas City Chiefs. And Will, let's talk about Park Hill South. They run the option, so the quarterback is key. That's Brett Sharp.
That's right. And they're going to use Brett Sharp as many ways as they can. They're going to let him run the option down the sideline. Then they're going to try to drop him back and let him throw the pass off the same play action. You can see he has like 428 yards rushing as well as 532 through the air.
Defensively for the Panthers, they've got a guy they moved from linebacker to defensive end, Jaron Higdon. He's been outstanding.
Well, he's playing very well this year, and actually they want to utilize his speed. He has 4.6 speed. They want to use that to get up the field and around the edge. And as you can tell, he has 6 sacks on the year.
Also on the broadcast, we've got Eric Hicks from the Kansas City Chiefs, and let's talk Rockhurst football and Jeff Brown. Boy, he's been outstanding this year as well, the quarterback for the Hawklets.
Jeff Brown, the unquestioned leader of the offense, hasn't thrown an interception since week 1, has over 700 yards passing, and if you ask my opinion, the best running back on the football team. He really can make the offense go.
Now, I know you like this guy, Scott Edmonds. He's a defensive end. A lot of people don't know a lot about him because he's been out with injuries, but he's put up some very impressive numbers in 2000 here.
He has been out with injuries the past 2 seasons, but he has 7 sacks this season, a legitimate Division I prospect, and you're really going to have to keep your eye on him tonight. He can make things happen in the backfield.
Stay tuned. We've got Marcus Spears on the broadcast as well. Rockhurst, Park Hill South District 15 action next on Metro Sports. Greg Jones, head coach of Park Hill South in his 3rd year, an impressive record of 19-11. Keep in mind, last year they were 10-3 and state semifinalists in 4A. There's Tony Severino, the all-time winningest coach in Rockhurst history. Look at that record as he's won 79% of his ball games. Rockhurst won the toss. They've deferred their option to the second half. Park Hill South will receive the football here. Panthers in the purple and white, Rockhurst in the blue and white this evening. Perfect night for football. Temperatures in the mid-70s, just Indian summer-like conditions here in the Kansas City area as Jason Dunsworth has it teed up for the Hawklets. Undefeated, number 1 in the Metro Sports poll. Gianestra will be deep and will not return this one. It'll be a touchback. Brett Sharp, the quarterback for the Park Hill South Panthers, the junior. Good rushing the football as well as throwing it. Rushed for 79 yards and 2 touchdowns in the overtime win, the thriller over Fort Osage last week. There's his passing numbers. 1st and 10 from the 20 for the Park Hill South Panthers. 6-1 their record. Their only loss was to Park Hill in week 2, 24-16. They've reeled off 5 straight, ranked number 9 in the Metro Sports poll. Out of the eye, give on a dive play to the fullback, Caney. Maybe 1 on the play. James Caney, a youngster. They've had some injuries in their backfield. Joe Spurk out with a dislocated shoulder, and also lost Todd Gutchow the whole season. He's had a thyroid problem, so they have some youth in the backfield. Caney, number 34 there, is a sophomore. And Michael Gianestra, also in the backfield, is a sophomore as well. The quarterback is a junior, so they're all underclassmen in the backfield as they go on the option. Pitch it out to Gianestra, turning the corner, but only going for maybe 1. Kevin Kane make the stop. Number 60, the leading tackler for the Rockhurst Hawklets.
Well, right here we're going to take a look at the option. It's just a sprint option straight to the edge. A nice pitch on it. It seems like, if you notice, that Rockhurst is sort of stretching them out as well as having good team speed to make up from the backside, cut it off for a short game.
They're also making them make decisions early so they don't have time to kind of sort out what the defense is doing. They have to commit right away.
3rd down and 7 from the 23-yard line in Park Hill South zone. Double slot set. Sharp on the rollout, firing, and the pass is broken up and nearly intercepted by Chris Clarkson.
Good defensive play, great break on the ball. We're gonna take a look at it. He's gonna take a rollout to the left. It seemed like the quarterback had a hard time getting outside of the pocket here. Like he's bobbling the ball here a little bit. He comes outside here and sets and throws. It's a good pass. But the one thing they tell the receivers, though, is when you do a stop route, you have to come back to the ball, and that creates a better angle for the defender so that he can't get in front of you to make the interception. On
4th down and long, punting time for Miles Shaddix. So we'll go across the midfield stripe and gets a touchdown near the 46-yard line. 30 yards on the punt, no return, as the Hawklets now come out for their first series of the night. Their quarterback is Jeff Brown, the senior. Excellent running quarterback, has the 4.5 speed. Very efficient throwing the football, completing 68% of his passes this year, and hasn't thrown an interception, as Eric Hicks mentioned at the top, since week 1 against Oak Park when they won that ball game 27-6. So this guy's very efficient. We'll also probably see tonight Chris Cummings as well in the 3rd series.
Well, if you're Rockhurst, you got to be happy. You're starting on your own plus 45.
Alex Staub gets the carry and runs right into Kyle Miller, number 51. Maybe 1, but he paid for it.
Good one-on-one open field tackle.
As you can see here, Miller just wasn't fooled. He stepped up in the hole, wasn't fooled by the pulling guard, stepped up, put his helmet right on the numbers, and that's what you need to do when you're a linebacker. Let them know you're going to be there all evening.
Kyle Miller, the leading tackler, was questionable for this ball game. Had an ankle problem coming in, but looks okay there. 2nd down, 9.5 now as Scott Edmonds goes in motion. Rolling to the short side is Brown. Now we'll take it down the sidelines and get a short pickup of 3 on the play near the midfield stripe. So Brown was trying to pass to the short side there, Will, or was he trying to run it maybe?
Actually, it looked like it was a roll play. He started off, he's looking downfield, but he decided to tuck it early and take it and try to make positive yards from it. Defense strung him out a little bit, forced him out of bounds.
Well, Jeff Brown made a good decision there. He realized he didn't have anybody down the field, didn't want to force the ball in his own territory, and he just kept the ball, made about 2 yards, didn't make any mistakes, and now they have a good 3rd down and 7 opportunity.
From the midfield stripe, 3rd down, 2 receivers to the far side. Steve O'Connor in motion toward the set. Play action fake. Quarterback being grabbed, finding his receiver, Jason Dunsworth, our first time. 1st down, and he pounds his way down near the 36-yard line in a pickup of 14 yards.
Well, as you can see here, this is why I say Jeff Brown is the best running back on the team. He has immediate pressure in his face, makes an excellent move. The defender has a hold of his jersey, throws a perfect strike to Dunsworth, and Dunsworth makes the 1st down. Excellent play.
Shows good strength in the pocket to be able to hold up and still deliver the ball.
And as you see here, Dunsworth making people pay after he gets the ball. He's a big boy.
First and 10. Ryan Grice in motion. Keep it on the ground. Alex Staub. And he'll go for 3 on the play before Kyle Miller got him there.
Nice strong dive play up the middle. Linebacker did a good job of filling the hole and actually making the hit. He just has to drive his feet and finish him so that he falls backwards and not fall forward.
Well, the thing you see here is, as Will mentioned, the linebacker didn't move his feet, but Staub continuously kept his feet moving, causing him to get that extra 2 or 3 yards.
Second down and 7 now for the Hawklets, rated number 24 in the USA Today. And here's Tony Temple, a freshman, breaking tackles and takes it near the 10-yard line. The electrifying Tony Temple with a 23-yard run.
Tony Temple's first touch of the night. Counter play behind the guard and tackle, pulling to the backside, untouched through the line of scrimmage. Gets into the secondary, does a good job of making the guy miss. Pulling through tackles, and you look at him, his size, his stature, you're like, this guy can't run you over, but it seems like he's doing a good job of pulling through tackles left and right, keeps his feet going, and that makes a big difference.
First and 10, Jason Dunsworth inside the 5 near the 4-yard line, so he goes for a quick 5 or 6 on the play. So you got the shifty quick back, and then you send the big bruiser through there with Dunsworth.
Well, at Rockhurst, it's almost like pick your poison. You got Jeff Brown, you got Dunsworth, you got Temple, and you have Staub. I mean, which back you're going to stop? They all can hurt you. So Park Hill is definitely going to have to come up with something, maybe blitz a little bit up the middle to stop this running game, because they definitely are taking advantage of the Park Hill's weakness in stopping the run right now.
Second down and 3, Tony Temple trying to get to the outside, tripped up and taken down. Steve Toth with the stop for Park Hill South. As we take a look at the lineups for tonight's ball game. Up front, Olsen, Kornstrom, Kopp, Kane, and Boyd. Backs in the backfield, Staub and Dunsworth. Leading receiver is Scott Edmonds. Third down and now 5 as they lost a couple on the play. On the option, Brown keeps it, turns it up, touchdown Rockhurst, Jeff Brown, 6-0 Hawklets.
Good play calling down into the red zone. He gets a chance to actually take the ball, fake it down the middle, pull the tackle down on him, get to the edge, and actually make a good run inside for the touchdown.
Well, as my partner Will Shields would say, you need to have a good fullback to run the option effectively, and they pretty much figured they were just going to hand it off to Dunsworth since he could power up the middle so effectively. They faked up the middle with Dunsworth, and like I said, Jeff Brown, those excellent running back skills, went around the corner, made a great cut, and 6 points.
Extra point by Snodgrass is good. 7-0 Rockhurst on top. 7:11 to play in your first quarter. Jeff Brown cashing in on the option here.
Makes a good read down the line. Actually, he could have pitched the ball and still had the running back go into the end zone. Saw the open hole, made a quick decision right here, turns up the field, goes in from 5.
Well, they always tell you if you don't have to make that extra move, that extra pitch, don't do it. And Jeff Brown had an opening here, has great vision, cuts right there, just breaks up field, almost went in untouched. You could see his strength there as he got to the end zone. And Will, would you classify Dunsworth as a good fullback to run the option with?
Very big fullback to run the option with, and that's one thing you like, is to have one that can take it up in the middle and make them respect him, and then when the quarterback goes around the edge, make the other two play the key of him pitching it to the quick back of Temple. And
rarely do you see a big fullback kicking off.
No, that is a rarity.
Gianestra waiting for the kick for the Panthers of Jason Dunsworth. Back-to-back touchbacks, and Park Hill South will start at their own 20-yard line, trailing 7-0 here as Brett Sharp about ready to go in here.
Well, what they're doing, it seems like Rockhurst is trying to make sure that they keep them pent down in their own side of the field so they can always get the short field to work with.
Let's check in now with Marcus Spears down on the field.
Hey, fellas, we got the Rockhurst version of the Village people here. Their job is to pump these guys up. Now, if you notice, you can't really see, but over here, this is all guys. And they don't want the women to come in the stands. over there by him. I don't understand it. This is high school. They got the women in the corner. They got all the guys over here. They don't want them. They said they don't want the girls to break their concentration. What'd you say?
Football is first priority.
Guys, something is seriously wrong in Rockhurst. All guys, they don't even want the women in here doing football games.
All right,
Back
thank
to you
you,
guys.
Marcus. Let's check out the starters now for Park Hill South this evening. Up front, Gieske, Schaefer, Smith, Wallace, and Rhodes. Gianestra, the leading rusher on the team. How to be the leading receiver. On second down and 10, give it to Gianestra, trying to turn the corner. And he's able to get a couple on the play as we take a look at the Rockhurst defense. Averaging only giving up 10.3 points per game. Edmonds, the leading sack man on the defensive line. Dunsworth's a Division I prospect. The leading tackler is Kevin Kane, number 60. And the secondary very good with Strozier, Whitney, Manning, and Chris Clarkson. It's going to be third down and long now for Park Hill South in their spread set. Setting up the screen. Gianestra has the first down as he motors his way up to the 34-yard line.
A very nicely done screen. It sort of sucked him in, set it up, threw the screen over to the left. Could have got a little more use out of the big guys he had running in front of him, but he had to do it because they had so much team speed making up from behind.
Well, I think what Park Hill here did effectively was they know Rockhurst is so aggressive on defense. They had him 3rd and 5, and they were so hard upfield with Dunsworth. They knew they could dump off that screen and get good effective yards.
13 yards on the play, 1st and 10. On the option, the quarterback keeps, finds a gap, takes advantage of it to the 41, and he'll go for about 6 on 1st down.
The thing I like about that, he made a decision and went with it and got vertical up the field and got as many yards as he could.
Well, this is what Park Hill needs to do. Obviously, Rockhurst is an explosive offensive football team, so they need to just kind of eat up the clock a little bit. Even if they don't score on this drive, just change the field position battle, because that's what football is all about.
Actually give him a gain of 8 on the play. 2nd down and short, and they blow up the fullback Caney. He's thrown for a loss of 2 on the play as Rockhurst shooting in there. Dunsworth involved. Also involved was the linebacking core for the Hawklets here as they just blew up the fullback.
Well, right there they had too much penetration in the line. You see the guy missed the front block there, and that sort of let him hit the back before he even had a chance to get his momentum going.
Well, it looked like number 56, Mike Houston, was on an inside line stunt there at nose guard. Just beat his man and got in the backfield.
3rd down and 4 now for Park Hill South. Quarterback keeps and pays at the 40-yard line. Kevin Kane took down Sharp for no gain. It'll be 4th down.
He stayed at home, played his keys, and played the quarterback perfectly. You see the linebacker? That's his role. He has to play the quarterback.
Well, they always tell you if the quarterback's going to run the option, you have to make him pay. If you're going to have your quarterback hung out there like that carrying the ball, you have to make him really blow snot bubbles out of his nose if he pitches it or not.
Shaddix with the punt for Park Hill South, and it'll go out of play. 30 yards, no return, and Rockhurst will have it in decent field position here. I'd like to thank the fine folks at Rental Service Corporation for their help with tonight's game. Give them a call toll-free, 1-800-RENT-RSC for all your rental needs.
Will, have you ever made anybody blow snot bubbles?
You know, actually, after I'm done, I just sort of go back to the huddle and get ready for the next one.
I mean, during the play.
Like I said, you know. Probably happened, you know, but I'm not quite sure.
You're not hanging around to see if it happened?
No.
1st and 10 from the 32 in Rockhurst zone. Steve O'Connor in motion as Alex Staub is the lone setback. They give it to Steve O'Connor coming around the near side, makes a man miss, makes another guy miss, and takes it out to the 37-yard line. Jaron Higdon with the stop from behind, but O'Connor with some very nifty moves there. That play didn't look like it had much, but he able to get about 7 there, Will.
Very good running there. He actually, you know, got out there, got on the edge by himself and actually made one guy miss, cut back underneath. As we take a look at it here, he comes back around. Everybody sort of stayed at home, which they did a good job, just over pursuit. Tried to force him back inside. He made a couple people miss. The guy comes back and makes a good play.
A gain of 6 on the play. 2nd down and 4 out of the I formation. And the quarterback keeps on the option. Brown into the secondary. He's got the first down as he's up to the 45-yard line.
Good run, and he took a good lick for it.
He took one for the team, as we'd say there. Jeff Brown, he's an excellent running back, but he's got to learn to get his pads down a little bit if he's going to run through the middle of the line, or else he won't be remaining in this game for too long. As you can see, he cut up the middle here. He's protecting the ball very well. Just gets stood up. You can't get your quarterback driven down like that too many times and be successful, so he's going to have to be careful.
Henry Talley with the hard hit on Jeff Brown. Now the ball is loose on the first down play. Rockhurst has recovered the football.
A little confusion there between Jeff Brown and the center. I think either the center thought it was a different count or Jeff Brown thought that he called a different count.
Well, that's the one thing you worry about, but when no one else moves, it's usually the center that goes a little early, because everybody else is holding in position.
Second down and 10 from the 45. The lone setback is Tony Temple. Toss sweep to the freshman. That 4.4 speed. He gets around the corner quick and then raked out a play at the 46-yard line in Park Hill South territory. Very close to a first down.
Well, actually, you know, he lost the ball at the end of the play here. He sort of takes it nonchalantly and just sort of shows his speed as he's going to go around the edge here. Loses the ball. And luckily, I guess the Rockhurst defender fell on it.
Well, Tony Temple will learn those things as his career goes on. He is still only a freshman. I'm sure Coach Severino will have a few words to say to him after the game.
It's going to be 3rd down and less than a yard now for the Hawklets. Give on a dive. This is Marlon Butler, who's been playing well as of late. He chugs for 2 and a first down. That'll move the chains.
Well, it seems like they got a nice 1-2 punch at fullback, that's for sure. They go from one guy that looks like a little truck into another one.
Well, Marlon Butler's a guy that had an injury as a freshman, had a knee problem, but Coach Severino says he's really coming on and really playing some good football for this team. The junior, number 33 there. 1st and 10 from the 42 now as play action fake by Jeff Brown. Going to go deep. And it's incomplete. Crossing route intended for Scott Edmonds, incomplete.
Well, I think Jeff Brown might have got a little bit greedy on this play. It looked like he had Marlon Butler in the flat wide open. You could see him raising his hand, number 33, and he just tried to go downfield a little too far. The man was double covered down the field, and he just has to have a little bit better vision. He could have had a big gain here.
It seemed like there was a little confusion too, okay? A little threw over one, another guy could have came back over the top, but
as you can see there, Marlon Butler saying, hey, here I am, give me the ball, I can run forever if you throw it to me.
2nd down and 10 now for Rockhurst. Alex Staub with the give. Good balance as he takes it to the 35, and he'll go for 5 on the play. He was tripped up at the 40, but maintained his balance and got a good gain there.
Good job of keeping his feet going. That counter play seems to be open so far in the game. Pulling the backside guard and tackle. Trapping right here. Comes underneath, sets his blocks very well. Good job of using his 3rd leg and putting the arm down to sort of keep his feet going in momentum.
Third down and 4 now out of the I formation. Quarterback keeps on the option. No, sir, as far as the first down. Brody Orth grabbed him from behind, number 99. And he's going to be a couple of yards shy of the first down. It'll be 4th down and 2 now for Rockhurst.
Well, it seemed like Rockhurst had all that field to work with out there to the right. They're on their left hash. Ran a play pretty much into the short side of the field. If you have a player like Tony Temple who runs a 4.4, you might want to get him a pitch or something out to the right side of the field there where he has a lot of room to work with. We'll see if they maybe come back to that type of play here on this 4th and 2 as he is in the backfield.
Rockhurst will eschew punting here. They're going to go for it here on 4th down and 2. Tony Temple, the lone setback. Quarterback optioning. Plenty of running room for Jeff Brown, who's got the first down and bundles more.
Well, it was interesting.
They blew the play dead, maybe?
Stepped out of bounds. It was interesting when he set up the play. They put the fullback out to the right, put a wide receiver out right, then fake it and then pull him out and let him run in front of him. And it seems like there was just nothing but a power all the way to the outside, and there was no one there to the right side of the play. Right here you see the fullback sealing the edge, knocking one into the other. There's no one out there. So Tony Temple's looking for somebody. You got to get up the field, make a block, and let the quarterback run from there.
1st and 10, toss sweep. Tony Temple to the outside. And he'll be triple teamed down. A couple of yards on the play. And Tony Severino says this freshman, he tries to score on every play. And sometimes he loses yardage and is a little careless, but you know, he's only 15 years old.
Well, the problem you have when you do run a 4.4 in high school, which is almost unheard of, is you think you're going to outrun everybody, and that rarely happens. I mean, you have to be a really, really talented running back to get to the edge and outrun everybody every time. So Tony Temple's just going to have to learn a little bit of patience here.
We've reached the end of the first quarter. 7-0 Rockhurst on a Jeff Brown touchdown run. Back with more on Metro Sports. Back here at Dasta Memorial Stadium, we're at Rockhurst tonight. The Hawklets leading after one quarter, 7-0 over Park Hill South here in District 15 first round action. Ready to go with second quarter action. It'll be 2nd down and 9 now for the Hawklets. Deep in Park Hill South territory, back to pass is Brown. Staub wide open, and he'll coast into the end zone. Touchdown Rockhurst.
It's a good play. They call it throwback. He sprints away from him to the left. The back comes out, fakes it, runs out to the edge of the ball, the field, and sort of just waits for the ball to come back to him. Gets lost in the shuffle.
Well, what I like about Rockhurst here on these first 2 drives is they're not really making many mistakes. They're not going to beat themselves. Coach Severino has them coached up very well. And they're just not going to do anything stupid. And if you do that, you can score methodically, and they're going to run the ball, and they'll pass the ball when they need to. And that equals W's.
Jeff Snodgrass knocks through the extra point. 14-0 Rockhurst, and Staub was wide open here on the 13-yard touchdown pass from Jeff Brown.
Well, if you notice, he sits on the backside, acts like he's going to block, and then flares out to the right side and waits for the ball to come in.
Well, it looked totally like the action was heading left. It looked like a little bit of a sprint out to the left, had everybody going, had the defense going to their right. Snob, as Will said, just snuck out there. There was nobody out there except a deep safety. He had no opportunity to make the play.
6 touchdown passes now for Jeff Brown, and Greg Jones got to be scratching his head trying to figure out a way to get back in this ball game here. Tony Severino said, hey, we want to jump on these guys and place some doubt in their minds. They were a 4A team last year. Now they're in 5A, taking on one of the big boys of 5A, and we want to give them as much doubt as possible, and jumping out to a 14-0 lead creates some doubt.
Well, they definitely have put some doubt in their mind. Park Hill came in here knowing that they had to play their best football in order to beat Rockhurst, and so far they're not doing that. They're letting Rockhurst dictate the game to them, and if they continue to do that, it's going to be a long night.
A runner fielded by an up man on a knee. It'll be downed right there. So it'll be 1st and 10 now for Park Hill South.
That was an odd kick.
Looked like he missed that one there.
He missed it a little bit, squibbed down the middle.
Well, Dunsworth there, he kicks a little bit like Tom Dempsey, who used to have who still owns the field goal record tied with Jason Elam. He kicks toe first, and I'm sure you're going to mishit it a couple times. We've seen Dunsworth put 2 in the end zone already, but you know, you just have to be careful when you're kicking with your toe. You can see he's frustrated there, but I'm sure he'll put more in the end zone than he does that too.
Football's at the 28-yard line, 1st and 10 as Park Hill South working out of the I. Quarterback option, pitching to Gianestra, in trouble. Able to get maybe 2 up to the 30-yard line, but now they're spotting it back to the 29. Chris Clarkson, nice, coverage there from the secondary on the run support.
They do a good job of stringing the play out. They're making the quarterback run really far, pitch the ball, and by the time he pitches it, there's 4 people waiting on him at the edge.
Well, as you alluded to earlier, Will, Rockhurst has tremendous team speed, and they can just pretty much string you out and make you get to the sideline, make you have to make a bad decision and run the ball.
2nd down and long now. Gianestra off tackle. Some nifty moves out to the 37-yard line, and maybe just a couple yards shy of a 1st down.
Very nice piece of running there. He got right up inside, right up in the crease, made a good play, ran over a guy at the end, kept his feet churning.
Well, there was a tremendous block on that play by number 73, Jason Rhodes, on the person we talked about in the opener, Scott Edmonds. And Scott Edmonds tried to come inside and was just planted flat on his back, and that opened up the hole.
Well, he's a Division I prospect as well as Jason Rhodes, a kid that went to a number of camps, and he's got the dimensions, 6'5", 290, and he went through all the drills and agility tests. What do they test an offensive lineman for when they go to those camps as far as agility and stuff like that?
Well, to try to see your mobility, see how you move laterally side to side for pass protection, as well as to see how you can pull and run as far as trap blocking, as well as just blocking straight ahead. Your power and speed comes out of your 5 and 10 yard burst, and that's what they time those 5 and 10 yard bursts from.
Third down and short. Gianestrit diving into the hole, appears to have the first down as he's near the 40-yard line. So it doesn't matter if you can run a 4.40 for an offensive lineman. It's that first burst, isn't it?
Well, if you run a 4.40, it helps.
They'll put you somewhere else. Probably.
Oh, yeah, it helps a whole lot. But actually, it's the burst for the first 10 to 20 yards. That's where you really get your power from. They can see how much you can burst and actually push people off the ball.
If you ran a 4.40 as an offensive lineman, I'm sure there'd be some sort of drug testing involved.
They'd be like, wait a minute, shouldn't you be playing tight end or something?
Fullback.
They'll find a place for you. Second first down of the night, 1st and 10. The pump by Sharp. Looking deep. Henry Talley is there, makes the backpedaling catch. And it is a catch into Rockhurst territory down to the 29-yard line.
Good communication. Quarterback shows him, he says, pump, and tells him to go deep. Leaves good air under the ball so that he had a chance to actually run underneath the ball and make the catch.
Well, it looks like Scott Edmonds here has been taking a lot of inside moves. I don't know if that's something that Coach Severino has set up for their defense, but he's been taking a lot of inside moves and kind of giving up contain over there on the left side of the Rockhurst defense, which is allowing Park Hill to run the ball and get the ball down the field now.
1st and 10 after the 32-yard reception to Henry Talley. Park Hill South, their deepest penetration. Quarterback keeps on the option, tucks his head, maybe 1 or 2 on the play.
Well, as you can see here, Park Hill is trying to run the option, but Rockhurst is not having any part of it. I'm sure Coach Severino is, when he sends his substitutions in, is sending some threatening messages to his defensive front there.
Kevin Kane involved in the stop again.
And I think I've noticed a very interesting matchup in Jason Rhodes and Scott Edmonds. We're going to have to get some isolated shots on that sometimes, because I think they told my boy Jason Rhodes that Scott Edmonds had 6 sacks, and he said, well, he's not getting any on me because he's really taking him out of the game.
2nd down and 8. Quarterback in trouble, going to be sacked. Andy Tian, number 81. We heard about his brother all last year. He's now at Northwest Missouri State. This is his little brother, and he is very good as well.
Well, he just seemed to be in the right place at the right time. They had a guy that sort of chip blocked him out here to the right side. You see right here, the tight end chips him, and then he's going up the field. He actually comes basically unblocked. Quarterback rolls out into the guy as he's coming up the field.
Well, I know all about those chip blocks. Well, I got a vicious one last week against the Raiders. You have to be careful on those, but they did a good job of recovering and getting the quarterback sack, which is the most important thing.
Well, you got to realize you're a marked man now.
That's all right. It'll free somebody else up.
Loss of 7, 3rd down and 15. Setting up the screen. No one home. It's incomplete. Pass was slated for James Caney, number 34, but it'll be 4th down and long in punting time, it looks like, for the Panthers.
Well, the rush seemed to get there a little faster than he could set up the screen. A couple guys that came through a little earlier than he was wanted it to be, so that he can actually dump it off to the right. Actually, it was a guy that stayed home and played the screen fairly well.
Yeah, and that was number 31, Jason Angold. He just followed the offensive lineman out into the flat and said, hey, you're not going to run this over here on me. And he paid for it a little bit at the end, but he stayed at home and caused the play to be an incomplete pass.
Timeout on the field taken by Park Hill South here. 9:07 to play in your first half. 14-0. Rockhurst on top. Jeff Brown with a 6-yard rushing touchdown and then a 13-yard touchdown pass to Alex Staub. And the Hawklets trying to go to 8-0 on the season. A team now that's in the USA Today top 25 as the Hawklets in this week. On Tuesday's paper, they were rated number 24 in the nation. That's no surprise for them. Last few years, the Hawklets have been rated nationally. They beat Garden City, the #1 team in 6A, and then turned around and beat Jeff City, a very powerful team from 5A on the Missouri side. And Tony Severino said, hey, that's like playing back-to-back playoff games for us. So.
And actually, don't they start playoff play here pretty soon?
This is district play, so this is just like a playoff game. Greg Jones says the road to a state title goes through Rockhurst. You might as well play them the first game. And they're going to go for it on 4th and 15. Sharp on the roll, firing, and the pass knocked away, incomplete. Johnny Sweeney jumped that route and broke it up.
Well, Johnny Sweeney made an excellent play on that because Park Hill had a perfect ball fake on the bootleg there. Looked like the receiver was open, but as you can see, Sweeney came up and made a great play, almost had the interception.
So Rockhurst gets the football on downs, and they'll have it in very good field position here, as they'll have it at their own 33.5-yard line.
Well, what you're going to want to do if you're Park Hill here is not let Rockhurst go down and score, whether it be a field goal or a touchdown. Let them go into halftime with the good momentum.
I formation. Tony Temple gets the carry, cuts it up, still on his feet. Look out! Down the sidelines he goes, and he beats the man that had an angle out of touchdown. Tony Temple, 67 yards on the touchdown run. Is he exciting or what?
Can you say vapor lock?
Well, so much for not letting them score before halftime. I mean, they might score another time before halftime because that play only took 13 seconds. I mean, Tony Temple is awesome. We talked about how he's kind of impatient as a freshman here, but he does have that 4.4 speed. You can see if a man has an angle on you like that, he should run you down 10 times out of 10.
Well,
he
shifted gears. He went back here. He made a good move to get free, break down the sideline, gave the guy a dead leg in mid-stride, and then shifted gears again and went by him. Amazing.
This guy is a highlight film player.
Right here, stop, underneath, and he's out of the gate. He has a guy coming with a perfect angle to catch him, dead leg, and then turns on the burst.
How do you dead leg at a full sprint, Will?
Well, you know, when you're special like that. I just saw it happen. We're going to watch it from another angle. Stop inside, cuts outside, and actually he is gone. Right here, he's going to throw. See right there, you know, that was a little hesitation. That little hesitation makes the guy sort of settle his feet just enough for him to burst by him.
Well, the term we like to use, and my defensive line likes to use, is God spent a little more time with Tony Temple when he was making him. And if he's running like this now, just think of how he's going to be when he's older. Coach Severino doesn't want to admit it, but Tony Temple is the most impressive freshman that Rockhurst has ever seen. That's including Brandon Shelby, and he's really proven it tonight. As you can see, he has 13 rushing touchdowns on the season, and now over 600 yards.
He is a physical freak, as they would say. 4.4 speed, 5'9", can dunk a basketball, and he's only 15 years old. After the extra point, 21-0 Rockhurst. Dunsworth gets a hold of this one, and it'll be a touchback for Gianestra, and 1st and 10 from the 20-yard line for Brett Sharp and Park Hill South.
Well, so far it seems like Rockhurst is putting a solid performance together. The defense is playing well, the offense is putting up points, and the special teams are kicking the ball deep and keeping them pinned down there and not giving them opportunity to get to the other end of the field.
Well, getting back to Tony Temple here, if he spends a little time at various camps, whether it be Missouri, Kansas, and he lets college coaches work with him at a young age like this, he really is going to be special as he gets older. Like you said, he's only 15 years old. Once he learns to develop a little bit more vision, a little more patience, just get a little more actual running back skills, he's probably going to be one of the most sought-out running backs in the country.
1st and 10 from the 20-yard line. Little stretch play. Gianestra back to the line of scrimmage and no more.
Well, the thing you're going to worry about here now if you're Park Hill is you definitely don't want to go 3 and out. You want to make a little bit of hay on this drive here. You want to go down the field. Even if you don't score, just try to pin Rockhurst a little bit deep. Because if you put Rockhurst offense on the field again right now, the way they're clicking, it could be a very, very long night.
2nd down and 10 now. This is the fullback, Caney, and he is blown up and thrown for a half-yard loss. The defensive line doing a great job for Rockhurst, Eric.
Met in the middle with a little authority.
Well, Will, could you say that the Rockhurst defensive line is a little geeked up now?
Yeah, I think they stiffened up just a little.
Well, I think they took it as a personal challenge. Park Hill had a little bit of success in their running game on that last drive that they had. So they said, hey, we're not going to let them get any more, and this is where the buck stops.
Last stop by Trevin Reed, number 85 there. 3rd down and 10 now. Spread set for the Panthers here on 3rd down and long. On the roll to the short side. And the quarterback going to be chased down from behind as Andy Teahan was there. And also coming from behind for the Rockhurst squad was Matt Weglars as well. So good pursuit on the quarterback on the short side there.
It is a good pursuit. As you can see, 81 Andy Teahan here. This is what we like to call a dash pass. Everybody rolls to the right. You get blockers. You see Teahan here take on the fullback who came out and blocked, and he strung out the play, and the quarterback was met with a little bit of authority as he was going out of bounds.
4th down and 10, punting time for Miles Shaddix. Fair catch called for and taken at the 44 in Rockhurst's own. It's a 34-yard punt, no return. Now let's check in now with Marcus Spears.
Guys, I'm with my man Larry Parker right here. Larry, what do you think Park Hill needs to do to get back in this game?
Well, first of all, they need to make some tackles. I mean, they missed a lot of tackles. The guy made the great run, but if they make the tackles, that run's not there. And on offense, I think they need to open up a little bit and throw the ball around.
I agree. Park Hill really needs to. They need to move the ball. 3 and outs will not work. They got to keep the offense off the field, or they don't stand a chance. Back to you guys.
Chris Cummings is the new quarterback now for the Hawklets. He usually comes in the ballgame, gives it to Dunsworth, and he reels off a quick 6 on 1st down.
Dunsworth shows some nice feet in there, being able to spin and move and, keep his body going to that great momentum.
Passing numbers for the junior quarterback, Chris Cummings. Future quarterback here for Rockhurst. They've got a couple of them, actually. He and Johnny Sweeney are both juniors, so it's going to be a dogfight for that position next year, or Tony will probably rotate the guys in. A lot of talent, a lot of depth here at Rockhurst. 2nd down and 3, setting up the screen to Alex Staub. Running room and a plenty. There is a flag on the play as he gets the 1st down as he's cut down at the 36-yard line.
Well, the flag here is going to be for an illegal block in the back, but I don't think the flag should have been thrown. I mean, it wasn't that malicious. He kind of only just got the offensive man kind of got a hand on the defender there, and I definitely don't think it should have been called. Will?
Well, in my opinion, the defender turned his back on the offensive person when he was coming to block him. And when you turn your back on somebody when they're coming to block you, it shouldn't be called as a foul.
There is no penalty.
Good call, Eric. Referee is J.P. Morgan tonight as we take a look here.
To the right of your screen, you'll see right here, he's coming down an angle right there, hits him clean in the shoulder. He really didn't turn up the field to make the play like he should have. He should have dipped and took an angle to try to make the play on the inside. He just sort of let the guy push him out of bounds.
I don't think he wanted any of that funk that they were bringing up to him there.
No, none of it whatsoever.
And I think it's a good idea here for Rockhurst to get Chris Cummings in the game. You never know what can happen to Jeff Brown as they go into the playoff action and they go into the possible state finals here. If anything happens to Jeff Brown, you want to have a tested backup quarterback, and they get Chris Cummings some good reps here when they have a pretty large lead.
Well, that's the whole idea here. Get him game time in the heat of the action experience. As you talk about quarterback injuries, keep in mind Rockhurst last year, the stress fracture to Michael Griffin, who was an outstanding quarterback, and Jeff Brown had to fill in 3 games for him. So, yeah, quarterback injuries really hurt this team last year. And Michael Griffin, kind of grinned and played through it, kind of winced through it. But, yeah, quarterback injuries are key.
Also, not only injuries, is think of the confidence this young man, Chris Cummings, is going to get. If he can come in here in a big district game against number 9 Park Hill, he can come in here, get his rhythm on, complete a couple passes, possibly lead his team down to a touchdown or a field goal. That's tremendous confidence for a young man going into not only the playoffs, but going into next season that is going to be his ball club.
Greg Jones talking to the referee, J.P. Morgan, about something. We saw him at the Park Hill game protest that call for the supposed 10 minutes you get to question the call in the rule book, and he used all those 10.
10 plus 28 more.
Well, I think you're seeing Greg Brown here say, hey, we're kind of getting our tail handed to us here. Can you keep the flag on the field, possibly slow down this juggernaut of an offense?
Plus, also, he's giving his defense a chance to get some rest by questioning this. Gives a chance, to settle down a little bit. Hopefully, give them the opportunity to settle down. Play solid defense.
Well, I know definitely as a defensive man that you definitely, if you are going against an offensive football team that's very explosive, you're going to be winded, and you do need a break. And it's up to the coach to either call a timeout or cause some kind of confusion to where you can go to a knee and take your helmet off for a minute. But offensive guys don't have that liberty, do they, Will? It's just go, go, go until you get in the end zone.
Exactly. We don't have that, rotation or break thing, And so that'll be a revolution.
1st and 10 from the 36 on the roll. Cummings being chased, firing, and it is complete. Jeff Snodgrass with the catch and near a first down at the 25.
He showed good speed and good ability, and actually he felt the pressure, and just sort of bursted out to the edge to get that extra cushion he needed to throw the ball. Because if you notice here, he's rolling to his left.
Well, what I like about Chris Cummings here is you can't teach this, what he does here, this arm strength. He's throwing across his body, throwing a strike to an open receiver, and that's hard to teach. And like I said, he's getting in there, getting good game time experience. He ran away from the rush, and that's what you're going to have to do on those type of plays sometimes. And he's really has the offense clicking right now.
It is a first down pickup for Chris Cummings, 190-pounder. Inside give, Alex Staub, he turns it to the outside. And he gets a nice gain and close to another first down. Flags on the play, however.
Well, what we're going to see here over on the left side is a holding call. Sometimes you get out there on the outside, you get the defender turned a little bit, and you hold on to him a little bit too long.
There's a rule of when you can see the shirt start to stretch, you must let go. He did a good job, actually. That's one thing they teach you, though. If you do have a hold of a guy and you feel like he's pulling away, if you pull your hands up and out, usually they will not throw the flag because you show, hey, I had him on him, but I'm taking him off.
I really hate holding, Will.
Offense.
Well, I hate holding, too.
Repeat the down.
I dislike when that happens, especially when those defensive guys can just grab you and throw you to the ground and, you're supposed to keep your hands inside of their body frame. How does that work?
1st and 20 after the penalty. Cummings firing the middle, intercepted by Henry Talley for Park Hill South. And he's near the 22-yard line. Flags coming in late after the play was over, so he might have a post-possession foul here coming up. But number 24, Henry Talley with the interception, and that is his 6th of the season.
Well, the quarterback had a guy wide open, and actually he waited a little longer and sort of threw it a little high, tried to hold it off a little bit. Good job of the safety coming across the top and making the interception.
Well, as I said, Chris Cummings is getting good game time experience. He's also going to learn that you can't hold the ball that long because the defender will recover after a while. And you see here, he held it a little long. He was wide open. And then the free safety just comes across and makes a great play. And the penalty we're going to have is on number 1, Steve O'Connor, for unnecessary roughness after the play. He kind of put his knee into the defender's chest, and you really can't do that. The referee's going to throw that flag every time.
So he has 6 interceptions this season.
Well, Henry just did a great thing for the Park Hill team because they were definitely rolling. And let's see if they can build a little momentum off of this. I mean, it's very hard to slow down this Rockhurst team, but Henry Talley came from his free safety position and really gave his team a big boost.
It's time out of the field as Tony Severino now will get his word in with J.P. Morgan, the referee tonight. Take a look at the crowd. Perfect weather conditions, and it's an absolutely gorgeous night for football, and J.P. Morgan's heard it from both coaches tonight.
Well, I really don't know what Coach Severino could be complaining about at this juncture of the game, but I'm sure he's going to be the consummate professional type coach, just always fighting for his team, fighting for his kids that are out there working hard. And as you can see here, a youngster having fun in a Detroit Lions helmet.
Well, he saw him play last night, so,
And did they ever play? They really put it on the Bucks.
James Little Man Stewart with a big game last night. He's on my fantasy team, so I was happy to see that.
We're not allowed to talk about fantasy football. That's gambling, and we can't be involved in any.
Sorry.
Exactly.
Okay. We won't talk about that. I'll talk about it. Big night for James Stewart last night for all the fantasy owners that had him.
Well, if anybody had the Bucks defense, they had a good night too. It's just unfortunate that it happened to them. I mean, they had 7 sacks.
Well, they ran out of gas. They were spending so much time rushing the quarterback. In the fourth quarter, they had a hard time holding up against the run. But they did have a good evening.
After the discussion, 1st and 10 now for the Park Hill South Panthers after the penalty walk-off. Ball at their own 36, toss sweep, Gianestra. Haney in front of him, good block. He's across the 40 to the 42-yard line, and flags come in late.
Well, things getting to be a little heated here at Rockhurst Stadium. As you can see here, there's going to be a stretch play to the left side of the field. There was a change of strength by the tight end at the beginning of the play, which kind of caused the defense a little bit of confusion. And anytime you do that, you're definitely going to get some yards over there to the side that the offense is running.
Gianestra did a good job of setting up his blocking.
Face mask, 5-yard penalty.
He stretched the play out, let the defender go outside, set his blocker up, then cut underneath to get those extra yards he needed.
Well, Rockhurst is going to have to be careful here not to become complacent with this lead they've built. You can see, obviously, they're the better team tonight, but Park Hill, if they get a little bit momentum going, it doesn't matter when you play football. Football's a very different kind of game. If you can just get a few things going in your favor, you can turn the tide of the game. And let's see what happens. See if Rockhurst and Coach Severino don't make the adjustments and tell his kids, hey, we have to be stout here. Let's not let them get in before halftime.
Especially when it's a game of emotions. You know, your emotions ride high or ride low, and that makes a big difference during the game and course of the battle.
After marking off a face mask penalty, it'll be 1st down and 1 yard to go out of the eye. Gianestra around the corner, 1st down and more. Wide receiver throws a good block for him as he takes it into Rockhurst territory near the 37-yard line.
Now, am I missing somebody on the line of scrimmage or what? I'm trying to figure this out. They're trading the tight end from one side to the other, and yet is there anyone on the end of the line?
Well, like I said before, number 2, Scott Edmonds seems to be going inside an awful lot, and that gives up contain. I mean, you can't leave all that pressure on your cornerback out there. And Park Hill had nothing but running room. Gianestra did a good job making the cut with the vision, and they're going to mark him back a little bit. Looks like he stepped out of bounds a little early, Will.
1st and 10 from the 37-yard line. 5:23 to go before halftime. 21-0. Rockhurst on top here. Quarterback keeping on the option, stumbling up to the 35 and a gain of 2 on the play.
Just him faking the option up the middle and just following his fullback up into the hole and getting positive yards.
Well, I think it's critical for Park Hill here to get at least a field goal going into halftime. I mean, they seem to have a good drive going here. They have Rockhurst back on their heels a little bit. Rockhurst a little confused with the tight end trades that the Park Hill team is doing. So if they can get a field goal or maybe a touchdown, it'd be a great momentum booster going into the second half.
And what they're doing is rare. You wouldn't think that they could actually get to the edge with all the speed of that Rockhurst defense.
2nd down and 8. Quarterback optioning, pitching out to Timmy Hotovy, in trouble and going to be thrown for a loss. Rich Whitney came up from the secondary and stopped the younger Hotovy there for a loss.
Well, what happened was Rich Whitney just not fooled at all. I mean, he just stayed here at his cornerback position, got in a good breakdown football position, tied up the running back's legs, and it was a good tackle for a loss.
And that's the one thing that's difficult when you're running the option is that you're trying to get those guys to mess up on playing their keys, and then you get that one-on-one where he pitches it to the edge. You get that one-on-one out there, and you have to have a tailback that makes the guy miss and try to, get that positive yards for the 1st down.
Loss of 2, 3rd down and 10. Give it to Gianestra, in trouble, and thrown for another loss. Scott Edmonds got him that time, and Jason Dunsworth there as well.
Too much penetration on that play. They set it up. They set it to the wide side of the field, pull the backside guard and tackle. Before they could even get to the other side of the line, everybody was blitzing up the field. You see all the penetration right there? See guys coming from every angle. There was no way he could get the play off.
Well, what happened is Jason Dunsworth absolutely demolished James Canny there. I mean, he was an ISO on Dunsworth there, and he absolutely just leveled him and got in the backfield, made a big hit.
4th down and 12. The Panthers down by 21 will go for it here just before halftime on the roll. Sharp taking off and going to be pulled down from behind, well shy of the first down at the 38 by Scott Edmonds for Rockhurst.
Well, we've seen Scott Edmonds have a little bit of a problem early with the running over to his side, but he made a good play there, just strung out the play and made a good tackle there on 4th down, got his defensive team off the field.
Scott Edmonds is the guy that fought those injuries the last few years. A lot of people don't know anything about him, but Coach Severino says he may be the best athlete on the team.
Well, at 6'4" and 219 pounds, anytime you can run like that is a pretty good feat, and he does seem to have pretty good wheels there.
So Rockhurst taking over on downs, 1st and 10 from their own 38. Tony Temple breaking into the secondary, look out!
Give him an inch, and he'll take the football field.
62 yards.
Wow.
I just saw Darren Sproles play last night. He's electrifying, but this kid just gets in the hole so fast, Will.
Well, and you know, the first week we covered him, they used him sparingly. You know, they had he ran a little out route, he let him catch it, and you know, they really didn't have him into the flow of it. But going into this week's game, it's like he's exploding.
Well, you don't want to put too much on the young man's plate, though. You don't know if he can handle it there in the first week. Jeez.
Well, if you have a player that has that much talent, you put him out there and you let him run.
Well, you made a very interesting comment about how the Rockhurst defensive backs aren't fooled there, and because they have to go against this young man every day. As you see there, great vision. We see he's developing the patience as the game goes on. The hole wasn't there at first. He just made his own hole, got up the field, made a few cuts, and it's off to the races. You can see there he's gliding in, looking effortlessly as he runs down the field like a gazelle.
He's much faster live. This on film stuff makes him look slow. He is something else.
But if you notice when he goes through the whole right side of the defense was cut down, left him one-on-one with defensive backs, and that's not a good matchup.
It's not a good matchup, him on anybody.
Well, if you have 4 inside maybe standing there without moving their feet, that might help a little bit. But, you know, if anybody trips, there could be trouble.
Well, Rockhurst had a very talented young man named Brandon Shelby that went to Oklahoma this past season and got redshirt. He's a redshirt freshman there. I think this young man could be better. With coaching and time, he could be better, and that's going to be a hard feat to complete because Brandon Shelby was a heck of a player.
Dunsworth, another touchback, and Park Hill South will start at their own 20. They said Tony Temple's gained 11 pounds since they've got him in the conditioning program for Rockhurst. And he's a guy that they've had to make smaller jerseys for because everybody grabs him by his jersey, but looks pretty good tonight. 62 and 67-yard touchdown runs, and he now has 14 on the season, the freshman Tony Temple. Coming up at halftime, as you take a look at the numbers for Tony Temple, 159, 2:55 to go before halftime. Is 1st and 10 now for Park Hill South. Sharp keeping on the quarterback option, good running room, and he's across the 30, and the ball came out, but they blew the play dead at the 31. It'll be a 1st down run for Brett Sharp.
So actually right now what they're doing is just setting it up almost like a lead. They're letting the guy lead up the middle, and he's just following him down the hole and getting as many yards as he can instead of trying to stretch him out.
Well, as we can see, stretching out is not what you want to do to the Rockhurst defense with the speed like that.
On 1st and 10, Gianestra shakes off, and he's got a 1st down. Good hard run by Michael Gianestra out to the 49 as he goes for about 19 on that play.
Very strong running. Jumps up over the line, dips down, runs through one tackle, sheds one tackle, I should say, and then goes and pulls through another one. Right here you see he's going to dip, pull through with his legs, keeps his momentum going, pulls through another one, and then drags another tackler. 19-yard gain.
And another 1st down now for Park Hill South, trailing 28-0. As Sharp showing some grit, and he takes it for 9 on 1st down as we check in on the field with Marcus Spears on the Park Hill South side.
Well, guys, the spirits are still up over here. These guys are over here pumped up. They're down 28-0, but they are not quitting over here. These guys are pumped up. It's going to be, they have to go 60 minutes here. These guys are not going to give up. I'm going to leave from over this side, though, because they're too loud. Back to you guys.
2nd down and 1 now. Thank you, Marcus Spears. And now a fumble. Ball loose on the play. Quarterback dropped it, but he got back on it and may have got very close to the first down. Did
real
Brett Sharp.
close to a first down. Now, what they're doing good here in Park Hill is that they're attacking the inside of Rockhurst's defense. Instead of stretching them out, they're taking it right up the middle. Had a little fumble snap here, still falls forward and actually gets close. He's about a yard from getting the first down.
It'll be 3rd down and less than a yard now for Park Hill South. Scrimmaging at the 43-yard line of Rockers. Trailing 28-0 in an early movement as the guard moved early there.
Gee, I know what that feels like.
Do you? Well, you don't. You're a Pro Bowler. You don't do that stuff.
Hey, even Pro Bowlers jump off sides now.
Well, what Park Hill has done here is they've pretty much shot themselves in the foot. They had a good drive going, had runs of 19, 10, 11 yards, and have a fumble snap and a penalty now. Then they put themselves in a precarious position.
It'll be 3rd down and 6 yards to go now after the walk-off. Sharp keeping on the option. Good read. And he breaks into the secondary. Johnny Sweeney can't get him. And he's finally taken down inside the 20-yard line. And a big-time run on 3rd down. Now they're saying back near the 20-yard line, making the 21. But nice run there by the quarterback, Sharp.
Very nice moves.
Well,
Just going to fake the dive. They actually had a blitz coming on the front side of that. Picked it up clean. Right here, you see the pick up the blitz. And he dives right behind it. Makes the big guy miss. Cuts back against the grain. Comes across the field and actually going to show some of his moves here. Show him a little dead leg there as he moves by.
Boy, did they ever pick up this blitz. What do we call that, a flabica? Is that what they call it? I don't think they're going to want to. They're not going to want to run that up the middle blitz anymore.
Flags will blow this play dead.
I think that was a I'm going to release and catch the ball type offside penalty there. He was a little anxious about going across the field to catch a pass. They had the bootleg coming again.
I love the bootleg. I love the bootleg play because they telegraph it so much.
Oh yeah, of course they do.
Legal procedure, the penalty. 1st and 15, and now timeout taken by Greg Jones and Park Hill South. Their 2nd of the first half. 38 seconds to go before halftime. 28-0 in favor of the Rockhurst Hawklets. A Detroit Lions fan and Tony Gonzalez fan continues to show off his wares. A future probably Rockhurst Hawklet. Good crowd here tonight. Can't complain about the weather. It's just about perfect on 1st and 15 now. Inside, the slot back coming through is Timmy Hotovy. And Hotovy with a nice gain. Close to a first down, taken out by David Manning for Rockhurst.
Well, that was an excellently executed play there. They tried to fake the option. Well, they did fake the option to the left and just handed it off inside to Hotovy there on a misdirection type play. And there was nobody there on the left side of the Rockhurst defensive line. He got about 7 yards and got out of bounds, which was the key thing.
Stops the clock with 31 seconds to go before halftime. It'll be 2nd down and about 3 yards to go. Sharp setting up the screen. Gianestro with blockers in front of him. Down the sideline, pounds his way near the 11-yard line. Gianestro lays some wood to people, doesn't he?
You can hear the pads popping all the way up here as he dips down and blasts his way through. The good job he did was getting out of bounds at the end of that run. Get positive yards and then get out of bounds.
It's a 1st down pickup, but Gianestro likes the contact here when the defenders come up.
And excellent audio work by our colleagues down there on the field here at Metro Sports, as you could hear the pads pop in the live action of high school football.
1st and goal now, as they're saying, ball near the 10-yard line. Sharp on the roll. firing. It's complete to Gianestra as he makes the catch near the 5-yard line. It'll be 2nd and goal. Clock stopped with now 12 seconds as Park Hill South taking a final timeout here as we take a look at the pass to Gianestra here.
Well, it seems like he took a long time in finding the receiver. He was open for a long while. He could have just dropped it over early. He would have ran in for the score. But it seems like it took him a while to find him, and he finally got it to him. He was too close to the sideline.
Well, I think what happened with Sharp is he was a little apprehensive about making a mistake here. He knows his team is down 28-0. He definitely doesn't want to throw an interception. He wanted to make sure the man was definitely wide open before he threw that ball. Actually, what had happened is he missed a man completely open in the middle of the field here, which could have been a possible score. They left him wide open in the middle of the field. As you can see there, he's waving his arms like crazy, saying, "Throw me the ball."
And actually, that would have been a difficult throw for him. Running to his right, throwing across his body. That's one thing they tell quarterbacks as a Rule 1 no, even though that, you see athletes do it all the time. They don't want you to throw across the body or across the field like that because it gives the ball too much air time to get there.
12 seconds to go before halftime. 2nd and goal from the 5 for Park Hill South. Quarterback keeps on the option. Sharp going to be denied. Left shy as Ryan Anderson there with the stop for Rockhurst. Clock winding out, and that is it for the first half. So Rockhurst shuts him out, much to the chagrin of Greg Jones on the Park Hill South side. 28-0. The Hawklets lead at halftime. Boy, that would have been a big momentum boost for Park Hill South to get a score before halftime, guys.
Well, it's still a big momentum boost as they get a chance to actually get that close and put that kind of a drive together.
Hy-Vee halftime report with Chad Arberts comes up next. Tony Temple, a big first half, 28-0 Rockhurst. You're watching Metro Sports. Number 9, South Panthers, as we take a look at our first half highlights. Jeff Brown will get the scoring started first here on an option keeper. Then he'd show off his throwing arm here as he finds Alex Staub wide open for a 13-yard touchdown pass. And then it's the Tony Temple show, guys.
Tony shows an excellent field vision. Actually, his speed is unbelievable.
Well, actually, I knew when we had him in that first game of the season, I knew it was going to be something special, but I never knew it would be this soon. I mean, this kid is electrifying. I'd almost buy a ticket every week just to come see him play. I mean, he could really spark your offense when they need a spark, and look for him to get a few more carries in the second half.
Well, he's had 67 and 62-yard touchdowns, 14 on the season for Tony Temple, only 15 years old. 28-0 Rockhurst on top. More halftime here on the Hy-Vee Game of the Week. Coming up next. Back at halftime here at Rockhurst, checking the first half stats brought to you by Hy-Vee, and the rushing yards huge for the Hawklets.
Well, that's the thing that jumped out with me, and my man Tony Temple has 159 of those rushing yards on only 6 carries. I don't know what the record is for high school football, but if they give it to him and he keeps running like that, he may have a chance at it.
It could turn into a scary evening. Really, it could.
Alex Staub awaiting the second half kickoff. Dane Brody, a multi-dimensional kid, a kid that plays soccer, plays the viola and drums.
He's a violist.
Yeah, it's run up near the 29-yard line for Rockhurst by Ryan Anderson. And it'll be 1st and 10 now for the Rockhurst Hawklets. Jeff Brown back out to quarterback the team.
Well, you see Ryan Anderson there, who returned the ball, had 13 tackles against Jeff City last week, and he also averages 13 yards on the kickoff return. So he's getting it done for that Rockhurst team.
Not a bad average.
Alex Staub and Jason Dunsworth set up in an I formation on 1st and 10 from the 30. This is Alex Staub hurdling defenders, takes it up for a quick 5 to the 35. Alex Staub, the senior there, and the dependable guy, as Coach Severino likes to say.
Well, I expect for them to come out this second half, have a couple of stars, rotate in and out, get a drive going, try to score some points, and then from that rotate in and out and keep it the ground game.
Second down and 5 now. This is the fullback Dunsworth, and not much there. Jason May got him. Third down and a couple now here for Rockhurst.
Now, if this is Park Hill, this is a crucial down for them early in the second half. They need to stop him here, get the ball in good field position, see if they can move it down and get some points on the board.
Third and 2 now for Rockhurst at their own 38-yard line. Staggered split set here. Quarterback optioning. First down and more for Jeff Brown into the secondary. He's got 4.5 speed. Good night. Touchdown, Rockhurst.
Well, that was a nice little play. A little fake of the option. Sees an open seam, turns on the jets, and just hits the hole, and he's gone.
Well, I'm sure their intention was to only get the first down there, but the hole opened up so big, he said, hey, what the heck, I'm going to take this puppy to the house there. And now I think we're going to see a steady dose of probably Chris Cummings after this drive. It's probably going to be 35-0 after the kick here. Rockhurst in total control of this game now with over 300 yards rushing.
62-yard touchdown run, the second of the night for Jeff Brown as Snodgrass drills the extra point. It is 35-0 Rockhurst. 10:37 to play here in your third quarter as Jeff Brown just found a seam and he was gone.
Just takes it, turns it up. Good job of finishing the block. If you saw the blocker go across, nobody touches him from there into the end zone.
Well, Jeff Brown with 2 rushing touchdowns tonight, a 16-yard run and a 62-yard run. So, like I said before, he's an excellent running back, and he's getting it done tonight. All the Rockhurst running backs are definitely putting their cleats to the ground and burning up this field tonight, Will.
Yes, they are.
I made a statement before the game that Jeff Brown was the best running back on the team. I think he's going to have to share that co-honors now with my man Tony Temple, because this kid has some serious wheels.
Take a look at Jeff
Keep
Brown.
it up now, Rock. Let's go.
Jason Dunsworth to kick off for Rockhurst. Michael Gianestra deep. And he's not going to return this one as it's into the end zone. So Dunsworth very effective as he continues to get the touchback. I think he's missed one. But other than that, they've been all touchbacks for number 34 tonight.
And I like the way he's kicking the ball. He's kicking it where there's no return, no questions. You bring it out to the 20, and you have to go 80 yards to put it in the end zone.
Willie reminds me a little bit of Sebastian Janikowski, as we saw last week with Oakland.
His build is sort of like
Let's hope he doesn't act like him.
Yeah.
First and 10 now for the Panthers as they set up in an I formation of James Caney and Michael Gianestra. Tally the receiver near side, Hotovy to the far side. This is Gianestra cutting it back and going for 2 to the 22 before he's shut down there. Robbie Arthur got him.
Well, I know they say that in order to pass the ball, you need to run now, but down 35, I think you're just going to want to go to the air here. I don't think things can get much worse for Park Hill. Just try to get as many yards as you can, try to score some points. You know, get your kids a little bit of confidence going into the game next week.
But also knowing the speed of this Rockhurst team, he doesn't want to let them pin their ears back and just go straight after the quarterback. I would think they would run some rolls or something else to keep the quarterback moving.
Quarterback rides the fullback and then keeps it himself up to the 24 for 2 more before Dunsworth collects him there on the play. It'll be third down and 6 yards to go for Park Hill South, a team that's won 5 straight. But down 35-0 here on the road to number 1 Rockhurst. Officially, it's third down and 5 now for the Panthers. And whistles stop things.
Going to be a delay of game here. I don't think you want to push your team any further back. But unfortunately, it's going to happen.
5-yard walk-off coming up here on Greg Jones' squad here. Going to be third down and 10 now.
You can hear the coaches on the sideline telling them to watch out for the screenplay.
From the 20, 3rd and 10, given on a delay. Gianestra going nowhere, back to the line of scrimmage. Then he ran right into Kevin Kane and Jason Dunsworth. No gain, 4th down, punting time.
Well, I was very surprised there to see Park Hill run 3 straight running plays. I know that, as Will said, they don't want Rockhurst to pin their ears back, but you have to get down the field down 35-0. Running plays aren't going to get you 35 points. And unfortunately, if they continue on this path, it's going to be a long night.
Miles Shaddix to punt it away. Fair catch called for and taken at the 49, and Rockhurst's own. 31-yard punt, no return, and Rockhurst has it right near the midfield stripe, and looking very good tonight. This is the second time we've seen him. What jumps out at you from the first time we saw him as to now, Will?
Well, I think they're poised. It just seems a lot different than the first time we saw them. The first time they were sort of sporadic. They were having a rough time. I think there was also a little more heat factor in that, too, because they were worried about the heat, worried about their guys could keep up the pace as far as keep going, where now it's a cool day and they're sort of sitting back and enjoying the breeze, and they've sort of got this offense clicking. Defense is playing well, but offense is sort of putting it down on them.
Nick Anderson in the ball game, and Tony Severino was raving about this kid. He says, hey, our offense doesn't drop a lick when this young guy comes in. He's a future fullback of the team. He will be the blocking back for Tony Temple, but Tony Severino says, hey, we don't lose anything when this guy comes in the game, and he looked like a hard runner going for 5 there.
Well, I think the thing you see with Rockhurst here is they groom running backs here. I mean, it's evident. You could see it every play they run. I mean, they put a guy in and he's getting 5-10 yards a pop. And like you said, they don't drop off and they bring other people in.
Anderson's the sophomore. He gets it on 2nd down. And he carves out 3 more. So
the one thing that impresses me about these Rockhurst running backs is you can tell that they're very well coached. Every time they get hit, they keep their feet driving. Every time they're falling forward, they're going with tremendous body lean. They're always going to try to reach out and get that extra 2 and 3 yards. And when it comes down to crunch time and playoff time, when things get really tight, you're going to need those extra yards. And in practice like this, in games that are kind of run away with, you need to practice those type of things.
I apologize. It is Nick Johnson. He is a 186-pound sophomore. I think I said Anderson. My apologies. As they go on 3rd down and short, keep it on the ground. Go to the fullback Dunsworth, very close to the 1st down.
Just going with the quick dive play up the middle, trying to bore their way up to the 1st down.
They're saying 4th down and less than a yard now as Dunsworth comes out. Steve O'Connor from the sidelines coming in. Rockhurst will go for it here.
Wouldn't you?
Yeah. They've got big Marlon Butler back there. He goes 232, and then the sophomore Johnson in an I formation. Dreiss in motion. This will be Johnson, and I don't think so, as freshman Bill Disselhoff came up with a stop, and where they're marking it, it looks like he's come up a little bit short here. Tough side angle view we have here, but that's a freshman there, number 86.
Well, where they're marking where his knees hit, it does look a little short on the play.
Well, I'm very impressed with Park Hill on this drive. Even though they're down, they're not giving up. I mean, then that's going to come back and help them when they go into playoff action. Even though they know that Rockhurst is getting the better of them tonight, they're giving it all they have. And like I said, that'll help you out in the long run.
And they are short. So we give the football on downs to Park Hill South here. 5:24 to play in your 3rd quarter. Rockhurst leading 35-0. So Greg Jones is going to get the football back. Greg Jones, a native of Louisiana, played at Northwest Missouri State, was a safety man there. So from the 42, new quarterback is Timmy Hodovy now for Park Hill South. Of course, you remember Tommy Hodovy, his older brother, was the quarterback, now pitching at Wichita State. As they go on a little dive play to the fullback for very little. Tommy Hodovy, Will, we saw him last year. Boy, he rushed for over 1,000 yards and he passed for over 1,000 yards. Now he's playing baseball.
Good move. Very good move.
Go figure.
You know, if you think about it, you know, quarterbacks, you know, seem to have a pretty good arm, but then you go be able to go out and pitch and, you know, not have to go and put the pads on every day. You know, change up is good. Maybe, you know, we get the opportunity to play two sports.
Well, the thing I always told baseball players and football players, do you want to have a limp or do you want to have a career? That's what they say to try to get them out of football. And Shaddix takes the pitch and will be thrown for a loss. Nice pursuit there by Rockhurst. As Ryan Worth coming up and making the stop. And I talked to his mom today. She's a counselor at Olathe North High School. I was over there talking to them, and she's very proud of number 49.
Well, I'll tell you what, number 49 there made a heck of a run from the inside out. I mean, you just can't teach pursuit like that. That's an all-out effort play. Obviously, he has good speed, but he really got out there and showed it what he was all about.
It's 3rd down and 11 now, back to the 41. Now back to pass goes Hotovy, gunning, and the receiver fell down, Talley, and now the flags come out late.
You know, I think this interference play could go both ways. It looked like the receiver kind of ran into the defensive back, and the defensive back kind of stood his ground, and the receiver held the receiver a little bit, but I think they're definitely going to call it on the defense.
Yeah, well, he went down the field. He was going to cut back outside, and when he turned his head to cut back outside, right here you'll see it, the guy grabs on, and that's where they call the penalty, is where he grabbed on. He fell down. If he'd have fell down clean and let him run by, it would have been okay, which he probably could have saved a touchdown. You know, he pretty much saved a touchdown by getting that penalty.
Holding on the defense, 10-yard penalty.
And we'll see if we can get another look at it from this angle. See, we got him coming down here. He's going to get ready to cut back out. He pretty much gets tackled.
Well, that's the thing they teach defensive backs to do, though. If you're beat, grab onto the man. It's better to take the penalty instead of giving up 6 points.
Flag thrown on Noah Strozier, who's also on Mark Nussbaum's basketball team. And Rockhurst looks to be very stout in basketball after a Final Four finish in 99-2000. They've got a lot of guys coming back, so watch out for the Hawklets come hoops time. 3rd down and 1. We'll go on a dive play to the fullback, and it just depends on the spot. Not much running room there for James Caney, but they'll move the chains. 1st down, Park Hills South.
Well, it seems like they're coming out second half conservative, running up the ball, sort of like they're saying we want to keep the clock running ourselves instead of, you know, getting in the end zone and, you know, get out of this one safe and then work for next week.
Well, it's funny. It's almost like what they say about the St. Louis Rams, try to keep their offense off the field. I mean, I know we're going to rely on you guys a lot to run the ball effectively, and Rockhurst has an explosive offense like that.
1st and 10 from the 47-yard line. Gianestra with the carry and going down. He'll lose a yard. Kevin Kane coming up from behind, the leading tackler, who his father coaches in the Park Hill area youth football. He's from the Park Hill district, but opted to go to the parochial school in Rockhurst.
Parochial, way to go. I'm a product of parochial schooling.
Really?
As you can see, I've turned out to be a deviant young man. Just kidding.
I always wondered about that.
Actually, it's true. The kids in the parochial schools are a lot worse than the kids in the public schools.
No gain, 2nd down and 10. Now a fumble on the play. And Park Hill South has covered up near the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down and long here.
Having problems with the quarterback-fullback exchange.
Well, as you said, Will, it's key to have a good fullback in the option attack, and the fullback has to know when to grab on or when to let go. And that time, I think he held on for a little too long.
And actually, I wonder if it was sort of a busted play, because if you look at the tailback's action, he was going opposite of the way that the quarterback was going.
There you look at 3rd down conversions tonight. Only 2 for 8. This is 3rd down and 10. Setting up the screen, knocked away. Nice play by Ryan Anderson, number 35, jumping that route as they were trying to set the screen to Michael Gianestra. It'll be 4th down and 10 now.
Well, we haven't called Ryan Anderson's name a lot, but he is a key cog in this defense from his middle linebacker position, and he snuffed out this screen right away. The interior of the Rockhurst defense had good pressure on the quarterback there, and Anderson just came up and made a great play. He almost had the opportunity to pick that ball off and take it back for 6 points.
Punting time for Miles Shaddix. Spirals this one down. Taken inside the 10 on a back pedal. Fair catch call for by Alex Staub. And Rockhurst will get it deep in their own territory. The Hy-Vee High School Game of the Week on Metro Sports. We'd like to thank Instant Images. Your business is our business. Instant Images. 35-0 Rockhurst, late stages of the 3rd quarter. We're at Dasta Memorial Stadium. Kevin White, Will Shields, Eric Hicks, and Marcus Spears broadcasting tonight. After the 40-yard punt, Johnny Sweeney now will be the quarterback for Rockhurst, but he'll do it in the 4th quarter. We've played 3 here at Rockhurst, 35-0. The Hawklets lead the Panthers. Back with more on Metro Sports. 35-0 as we head to the 4th quarter. Now let's head to Marcus Spears.
Hello, guys. I'm in the best place in the house.
Snacking again.
I got my friends right here. Your name?
Patrice. Sue.
Now, guys, I looked long and hard for the best nachos in Kansas City, and I might have found them. Now, Park Hill has some good nachos now, but these are good. Now, Rockhurst is beating them, but Rockhurst just beat them on the nachos, too. It's hands down, hands down. I actually had to wash it down with some of this. One of them peppers hit the back of my throat, and it got me. Back to you guys. We found a winner here.
All right, Marcus, get out of there. I think he's scaring those women in there. Hard hitting play on 1st down for a little bit of yardage there for Tony Temple.
I think he took a lick on that play.
I think Marcus had those ladies scared.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. You know, they were terrified.
Gain of 1 on the play, 2nd down and 9.
Well, just look for Rockhurst to keep the ball on the ground here. They have command of the game. No need to throw unless you want to get your young quarterback a little bit of work.
Johnny Sweeney is the quarterback. He's a junior. Pitch it out to Tony Temple. Makes a man miss and takes it up to the 15-yard line. The defender's kind of fired up there as Tony only went for 4 on that play.
Well, I think that's the first time the first 2 times in this game that you've actually seen him take a good shot. Everything else he's been making people miss and actually dodging and bobbing and just blowing up down the field. And these are the numbers on the night: 8 rushes, 164 yards, and 2 TDs.
I think that's about 26 yards a carry. It's something ridiculous like that. As you can see his ability on that last play, he made 4 yards out of a play which looked like he was just going to get stuffed. So he definitely is developing his vision.
Now Rockhurst takes a timeout. With 10:33 to play in the 4th quarter. Tony Severino will go out and talk to his offensive troops.
Yeah, no, because he wasn't on me. He's on me, I'll block him.
Another good job by our colleagues here at Metro Sports with the sounds of the game. Fans don't generally get to see what they're saying on the sidelines, but we're all access here at Metro Sports, and we get the job done.
And sometimes if you're on that sideline, you might not like to hear everything from it.
Might turn a little R-rated. 3rd down and 4. Deflecting off the hands and incomplete. Trevin Reed, the intended receiver, and Henry Talley almost got another pick there.
Well, nobody's ever said any swear words in your direction, have they?
Oh, really? We won't discuss that on the air.
It's a family show. Plus, they might be watching.
4th down and 4 yards to go. Punting time now for the first time tonight for Rockhurst. We'll see Jason Dunsworth to punt it away. He's averaging 39.6 yards per punt. Kyle DeLong lets it hit, and it'll take a Rockhurst roll down near the 42-yard line, and that's where the Panthers will get it. 44 yards on the punt, no return. And Rockhurst gets it back with 9:31 left in the ball game, leading 35-0.
Well, if you notice, it seems like they're doing everything they can to bleed the clock. I mean, they waited 30 seconds to take a timeout, and then they punt the ball, and then they let the ball sit until they get ready to blow it dead, you know, after wasting as much time as they can.
Well, I think that just shows you the veteran wisdom of Coach Tony Severino. He's been the coach here for 18 years, been very successful, knows he has a team on the ropes, doesn't want to run up the score, show bad sportsmanship. That's what high school football is all about. It's about competition, but you don't want to show bad sportsmanship.
8 state title games. He's got 3 state titles here at Rockhurst of the 5 that they have, and he also has 1 at Shawnee Mission Northwest. The only coach to win on both sides of the line, Tony Severino, as they pitch it out to Gianestra. Nice move there as he wiggles up for 3 yards. Been kind of impressed with Gianestra tonight. He showed some toughness running, and he showed a good wiggle as well.
He's a very good running back, and actually, you know, they're just giving him a little time to get into a rhythm. He had some good plays in the first half, and you know, he's making people miss and doing good things as far as running people over. He dips his shoulders well, keeps himself going forward, and he has that great leg drive.
Give him a gain of 2, 2nd down and 8 now as they go with only the fullback now in the backfield. Timmy Hodavi remains the quarterback, setting up the screen. This is a wide receiver screen to Kyle DeLong up to the 47-yard line. And he'll get about 5 on the play. Nice defense, though, by Rockhurst there to come up and stop that play. It looked like they would get a lot more, Eric.
Yeah, it was a nice play. This is what we call a rocket screen, the receiver coming back across the middle of the field. Usually what happens is you get over pursued by the defensive line, and actually the defensive line did over pursue on this play. But the linebacker came up and did a great job in reacting to the play there. The key to stopping plays like that is getting your defensive line to peel back from their rush and come back and hit from the blind side, and for your safeties to come up and make a stop, preferably for a 5 to 10 yard gain.
3rd down and 5 on the roll. In and out of the hands. Incomplete there as the pass missed the mark there, as they were looking for A.J. Heath, and it'll be 4th down and about 5 yards to go, and you're down 35-0 here. They're going to punt it away with Miles Shaddix.
I think A.J. actually lost the ball, you know, in the lights or something, because the ball came at him and sort of caught him off guard. He wasn't ready for it.
Deep back will be Alex Staub as the punt is away. Now Noah Strozier back there as well. Fields it at the 23. And up the sidelines he works near the 30-yard line. 7-yard return after the 25-yard punt. Noah Strozier, young man that plays basketball.
I've learned a very interesting Missouri rule tonight from our clock keeper to the right of me, that in Missouri, if you have a 35-point lead, that they just a running clock, which I think is an excellent idea.
You got somewhere to go, Eric?
No, I just feel that you don't need to stop the clock and have any more scoring here. I think they've got their quota of scoring in for the night.
Well, I thought you had a little boxing to watch tonight. Is Mike Tyson fighting tonight or something? A running play for very little as they keep it on the ground as Rockhurst. Oh, yeah, Tyson Galatas tonight, isn't it?
You can never miss a Mike Tyson fight, though, because you never know what's going to happen.
You never know.
There's always something interesting in a Mike Tyson
fight. It
fight.
is a freak
He gets
show.
real physical.
Oh, no, here comes the Mike Tyson impersonation.
Big punches from a little voice.
I'm the greatest.
2nd down and 8 yards to go. Play action fake by Sweeney. Fires and completes it to the tight end. That's Weglars. And a 1st down catch as he takes it into Park Hill South territory at the 47-yard line.
Nice play action. See the quarterback flip his hips and just throw a nice touch ball.
Well, I'm very impressed with Rockhurst here. They must have like a quarterback completion program or something. I mean, they have a pilot training school or something for quarterbacks, because these guys are coming in and dishing the ball out left and right.
Well, if you notice at pregame, they had a plethora of guys. They had at least
15
15 guys out there throwing the ball back and forth. And we were talking about how tight
I was
spirals
noticing
they were
that was crazy.
Now, Tony Severino had to choose from 5, he said. Pump fake going deep. And it's going to be long and incomplete as they were looking for Adam Pummel. He's a junior, 150 pounds, just long there.
Well, I guess my theory about sportsmanship went right out the window because they just threw a bomb down the sideline. And if the receiver would have ran under it, it would have definitely been a touchdown. So I stand corrected.
Well, he's got one of his younger quarterbacks in, so he wants to see what he can do in the field of fire.
Perhaps an underneath route, maybe?
Well, he wanted to see his arm. Actually, I think he sort of opted to throw it deep when he showed the pump fake. It's like, okay, go deep. I want to score. I want to show everybody what I can do.
So you think Coach Severino was like, drop it, drop it, drop it.
Second down and 10. And they'll go with a running play and running hard for about 7 yards on the play is Colin Charbonneau, a junior, 173 pounds. I'd like to thank the fine folks at Rental Service Corporation for their help with tonight's game. You can call them toll-free, 1-800-RENT-RSC, and they'll take care of all your rental needs. Look at Marcus Spears down there. Don't get hurt,
Look
Marcus.
at his shirt.
Killing it. Killing it.
No.
I'm convinced, dog. Hey,
Get that off.
These dudes are powerhouses, man. Hey, just about they're like small guys, but man, they're like ants. They just devour you.
I tell you what, you're devouring that sweatshirt right now.
Is that a double XL he's got on there?
That's a L, a youth L.
And no gain. Nice pursuit there. Now a flag tossed in after the play as little running room for Rockhurst there, and a post-possession foul coming up.
Little face mask inside there.
Charbonneau with the carry, and it is a face mask on Park Hill South.
Unintentional, 5 yard.
Well, next week, Rockhurst goes to North Kansas City to take on the Hornets. That'll be a 7 o'clock game. As far as Park Hill South, they continue in district action at Southeast High School. Marcus is jumping on the bandwagon. Is that what you're saying?
Yes.
Rockhurst
Yes.
rated 24th in the country. He wants to be part of this team now, huh? Bandwagon guy. Any response there?
I know I'm going to hear about that sweatshirt comment tomorrow.
After the penalty, it was 1st and 10, and Charbonneau with a nice run there. As the backups competing now for Brock. Look at the back on that guy. He stretched that baby out, hasn't he? Oh, he just shot us a dirty look. Oh, no.
Hey. Don't cut that out up there. This is a 3X.
It's a what X?
It's a medium. Small, medium. It's medium.
Let's go, boys. Come on now. Let's go, we're rolling.
Second down and 4 now. Toss sweep. Nick Johnson turns the corner, and he's got a first down inside the 20-yard line. It's time now for our player of the game, brought to you by your Kansas City Metro Farmers Insurance Agents. And it's the freshman, Tony Temple. Look at the yardage tonight, only on 8 carries, and he scored his 13th and 14th touchdowns of the season. This kid's only a freshman, but the future looks very bright for young Tony Temple. Player of the game. Said one of his goals this year was to be on Metro Sports, and he is on Metro Sports tonight as Nick Johnson carries it down near the 12-yard line. Hard hit there.
Pounding their way down the field again.
Clock under 2 minutes to play.
The question is, will Coach Severino run in the end zone? I don't think so.
Well, I don't think he's going to try to. He's going to try to get the first down, and then after that, maybe kneel on it.
Second down and 4 yards to go. Ball at the 11-yard line. Little dive play up the middle for short yardage, as this is Kevin Sears in the ball game now. So we're down to the lower stages of the depth chart here with running backs.
Well, actually, as you can hear, they even have the quarterback still making audibles, as he's at the line of which way they're going to run plays. That shows a lot of confidence, actually, that everybody have a little piece of the controlling pie that is for the offense.
going to be now 3rd down and short for the Hawklets inside the 10. Nick Johnson backed his way. Looks like he has acquired the 1st down. Second effort there by Johnson got him the 1st down. It'll be 1st and goal now for Rockhurst as the clock winding out here. The Hawklets going to go to 8-0 on the season. Park Hill South will fall to 6-2. Big night for Tony Temple. And the fans on their feet applauding the efforts from both these squads as Tony Severino out to shake hands with Greg Jones. As the Hawklets remain undefeated here.
Well, it was a very impressive offensive performance and defensive for Rockhurst. I mean, they pretty much came out and had Park Hill figured out from Jump Street, dismantled them. Tony Temple, what else can you say about him? He's awesome.
35-0, our final score. Rockhurst wins it. Back with our Hy-Vee post-game wrap-up show right here on Metro Sports. Time now to check out our final score. 35-0. Rockhurst rolls here tonight to go to 8-0 on the season. Time now for our BrandsMart Play of the Game. Watch football all fall from the best seats in the house on a new big screen from the folks at BrandsMart. Tony Severino talking to some of the media, and here's our BrandsMart Play of the Game. And just the speed of Tony Temple here. One of his 2 touchdowns on the night. Tony Temple, a huge night rushing, this going 62 yards as Rockhurst rolls. Our BrandsMart Play of the Game, the best seats in the house found only at the big screen store. That is at BrandsMart. Coming up next week, a doubleheader. First from the IL, Westport taking on Northeast. That'll be 7 o'clock Friday. Then it's Olathe North against Olathe South. Number 2 against number 3. Should be a doozy. It'll air Friday night, 10:30. 35-0. Rockhurst shutting out Greg Jones and Park Hill South tonight to go to 8-0 on the season. For Eric Hicks, for Will Shields and Marcus Spears, Kevin White saying goodnight from Dasta Memorial Stadium in Rockhurst. Tony Severino rolls again, 35-0. Have a great weekend.